Hello, everyone. I'm presenting today, right now, actually.
I don't think the mic is with my top.
Oh, okay.
I have to put the mic closer up.
I don't know if
Well, it's not actually working.
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Okay.
let's see if we can find one.
guys.
Okay.
Oh, I see the snowflake. Yeah, you're from Wolfram.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Oh, the door. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's, yeah.
Stay away from the board front. You'll get tornadoes.
Right. Yeah, yes. Good. All right, so now, today I'm going to be talking about mastering, web forms and validation. So my name is Stephen Dagenais. I work for Coldfront Labs, and I've worked with Drupal since I started working there. So, just
What's your handle on Drupal.org? Is it Stephen.Dagenais or something else?
on Drupal.org, I registered as Saturn V.
Saturn 5?
Yeah, so like the rocket. Yeah.
Rocket.
Yeah. Okay, so first I'll be talking about web forms, or at least website forms in general, and then move on to validation, and then how web forms can be used to improve on that. So, so I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with building custom forms. They're often, purpose-built, looking at only, or for only one purpose. So they're not very flexible, and they're only, you have to basically build all of the security into it, like from scratch on your own, and you got to do a lot of testing. A lot of in-house maintenance needs to be done as well. So that requires a lot of time and energy for your company, and all the issues that come across the form, they're all your responsibility. So what did I do? Yeah, okay. And then web forms basically is a module in Drupal where you can install it, and it takes care of a lot of those issues and concerns that you have otherwise. So this one's very flexible, and it's quite popular. Oh. And it's free to use, and it's one of the contrib modules that you can get with Drupal. Oh. All right, there we go. Okay, that's better. Thank you. It was. Oh, interesting. Okay. Thank you. So, yeah. Oh, thank you. So basically, Drupal Webforms allows you to, on top of being not user-friendly, flexible, and you don't have to worry about it not working. It has a friendly UI that you can use to build your forms as needed, and it is portable as well. So, and of course, since it's not a project that you have to maintain, it takes all of that work off of your shoulders. So then you can just benefit from the service that it provides. So for the forms, there's all kinds of options that you can have. You can do all kinds of formatting, change all the settings, or at least in this case, prepare validation for the form. So in the end, the validation is more for in terms of data consistency. So you can have a series of submissions, and the information that you get is what you're expecting. It's easier to deal with, so you don't even have to build any of the the databases or tables that you would otherwise. Um, and of course, since the validation restricts what kind of data you can get, you can have more accurate data for all your customers, for the visitors on your site, for whatever information that you're gathering. And of course, in the end, it's a better streamlined user experience. So everyone is basically, with all of the validation options, people are told exactly, they get the gist of what they're supposed to give you much more quickly. And basically, it has most of all of the features that you could think of that a web form would need, or any kind of a submission form would need. Next. Okay. Yeah, so basically, the web form module itself is currently widely used by a lot of people. So over 350,000 users have reported using the project. And over the years, over the 21 years that it existed, about 170 different contributors have given, helped fix bugs and maintain it. So as a result of all of that, you can rest assured that the module itself is actually quite stable and reliable. So at this point, I'm going to move on to simple validation. So basically, as I mentioned earlier, the validation itself allows for the data to be a lot of the processing happens before you get it. So basically, you don't have to do as much post-processing in terms of managing your submissions. Then it'll clarify what type of data that needs to be provided, and then you can even customize your form in such a way that it's quite intuitive, so the user doesn't have to spend a lot of time reading or guessing what they need to do. So the first method you can use to limit specify what kind of information you're looking for is the required field. And of course, it's a very simple thing. Webforms does it as well, and it's pretty much a staple of online forms. So this ensures that data that you're requesting is provided before the submission is made. So you can have better consistency with your data, and you don't have to worry about missing information and stuff like that. So Webforms takes full advantage of that, and it's also integrated seamlessly into the module. So the field formats themselves, they're usually built into HTML itself. You've seen the the form types and all that, the field types like emails and whatnot. So they can be, they further restrict what kind of data you can give and ensure that everyone formats their data properly before they submit the form. So basically, they're the general phone and phone number, dates and numbers and addresses that you can enter. Now Webforms it greatly expands on that, so you can have all kinds of different added fields to that rather than the simple HTML versions. So for many use cases, you can have those two email fields, one for entering the email and one for confirming it, and they'll connect automatically. And the other one, of course, another one is the name field. You can have the title and the first name, last name, middle name, what have you. So now we'll talk about conditional formatting, or not formatting. Sorry, conditional validation. So basically what this means is that you can modify the form based on the data that the client is providing. And in this case, the conditional visibility allows you to make a field only visible if you fill in another field, or if another field has a different value, or a specific value, if you will. And then, of course, it allows for the form to be filled in faster if they don't actually need to provide all that information. And the form is a lot smaller, too, so a lot more attractive. So then, of course, since you can do visibility, you can also do requirements, conditional requirements in this case, which means that instead of like showing or hiding the field, it makes it required or not based on like another field's value, or if you filled in another field. So that allows greater flexibility in the sense that you only have that data if you really need it, or if it's, yeah. So it, yeah. So all of this stuff is available in the UI once you install the module. And of course, no module will be complete without some form of advanced features, like or extensibility in this case. So in this case, we have the web forms will allow you to use advanced validation. So you can expand on the features that Webform has, just in case you don't have the features you're looking for, or if you need something even more complex than the features it already has. So web forms, yeah, so basically, yeah. So there's several hooks you can use in the code. And you can make, so if you're making, the way you would extend this module is if you make your own module and you implement the hooks needed to add the extra functionality you're looking for. So in this case, it allows you to, get all the field data and then compare many different fields together, or like make a much more fine-grained, validation requirement than you would otherwise. So yeah, basically the possibilities are almost endless at that point. So basically, most of these validations would take on the form of several hooks that you would use. In this case, form alter and form validate. And most of the validation logic can then be held in a handler class that can be referenced by the module, which would then, allow you access to all the classes that Drupal has, all the libraries and entities or what have you. So as you know, for custom development, security is a big concern. And normally you would have to run all kinds of functions to sanitize the data that you're getting. But since Drupal has a robust security for it, most of that is actually done for you. So you don't normally have to worry about it. But of course, if you're doing custom development, as always, it's a good idea to be secure regardless. So for the most part, Drupal is more concerned about the output being secure in this case than the input, because it already has a lot of robust security features integrated into the input. So by the time you get to deal with the data, it's already sanitized for you. So even if you're doing all the any kind of modifications, you can rest assured that the data is still pretty safe to deal with. At this point, I can actually get into the software and show you around a bit. Okay, here. Oh, that. And I'm just going to go here. Okay, so here's so once you log into your site and the module is installed, all you have to do is go to under structure, that's not structure, here, and then your web forms will show up right here at the bottom of the list. So here, it'll show you like all the web forms you have, and then all your submissions will be over here once you get some. So then they're all grouped into one place, so you can see them at your leisure. And if I go to build, yeah, you can see all the forms, all the fields in the form that have been added, and all of their settings can be edited individually. So it's quite powerful. So here I can just, if we want to make something required, you just click the required check mark, and then save the data. Save the form, or you can actually go into edit and look at all the available settings for each of the fields. So here for the name, this is one of those complex fields that Drupal or Webforms gives you. So in this case, it'll let you, it's like a group of fields together when it renders, and you can choose which fields it adds. So here we got like title, that's how you would address the person, and then the first name, last name, and the middle name here. So right now I only have the first name and last name selected. So when I show you the form, it'll only show those two fields on the form. And of course you can access many more options here than you can in the table. So if you go to the form, you can actually preview it with view. And then here, because those two fields are selected, the name actually becomes two different fields. It's more granular. And yeah. So, and of course, since I put the username mandatory, that little asterisk will pop up, of course. So if I submit it, then it'll show that you need to fill it in. So I'll put my name. Whoop. No, that's not right. It's not your fault. Okay, there. And then of course when I submit, it'll tell you it's submitted. And if I go back to build, you can get, for a form, sorry, you can see the submissions and they show up here. So it'll show that that happened. Okay, so if I go back to the form, I can show you a few more options. In this case, I can add some conditions to any kind of field that I need. So in this case, we're going to hide the URL field if we didn't fill in the website title. So all I have to do is go to conditions and select visible, and it'll say like to select if all the conditions are met, then it'll hide the field for you. So in this case, all I have to do is click website title and select if it's empty or filled. So if it's filled, then it'll be visible. So it indicates that there's a condition here. So for later reference, you can see it. So if I were to, that's where it's here. If I were to go back to view, now the website URL is hidden until you actually fill this part in. So if I type in anything, oh, this is hard to do. Then you can see that the URL field now shows up. So then you can fill that in. And of course, if I empty it.
Last week, I was building a web form, and I was like, I was using the conditionals,
Okay.
and I was like, I wanted to set a default value when a field was empty. And I was like, oh, I can't do that. I had to do a hook alter, form alter, right? Set a default based on a condition. So I was like, awesome. But there is a lot of stuff you can do with the conditionals.
Pretty sure.
So I was looking, maybe there's a contrib module that adds in a few extra condition options.
So we go to the form again.
Okay.
Whoops. Keep doing that. Okay, so my settings here. So pretty sure. Oh, yeah, the website title. There's the website title. Yeah, so I think if you wanted to do the place, like the default value, it was a hint here. Oh yeah, but you're talking about a default value, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you still need a condition for that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So,
I think there's tokens you can use, right? There's
Mhm.
tokens you can use. I think defaults.
seems to be it was.
If you go to advanced, click on the advanced when you set the conditional.
Oh yes. Oh,
The
default
button.
value. Yeah, just,
There you go, that's where you put your
Yes,
token.
set default
yeah,
value.
it's
Or
under-
you can put a token there. I think there's a question mark. I think it says.
Oh yes.
There should be a token field somewhere here. No?
Yeah. I'm not. So basically, yeah, there's so many features in there. I wasn't. Yeah. So.
Maybe not.
So you probably utilize it. You probably just type it in, but because you installed it with a condition, right?
Yeah, I was hoping to do some like
Mm.
conditional logic, like if the user. I ended up doing a hook form alter, but I was like, okay, if the user doesn't have a first and last name,
Mm.
for the name, put the user's name, the username, the user account name.
Right.
So I was trying to do a little bit of fancy stuff, and then I was like, well, if the name was only 2 characters, then just put the username.
Hmm.
You know, put some quite a bit of, I don't know, I was just trying a few things.
Right.
Yeah.
No problem. Okay. So, yeah, so the basic introduction to like all the different settings you can use for the form.
Yeah, and the access, there's,
Mhm.
when you just have web forms, you get very basic access permissions in the access tab. But if you install the web form access module,
Yeah.
you get all kinds of more granular control over what your users can do.
Well, that's what the submission data,
That's for like
Mm.
isn't it?
managing like who can see your submissions and who can edit, use tokens for, you know, it's just different. You get a lot more power over it when you install the web form access module, which is part of the web form suite.
Yeah.
It's built right
It's like
in.
14 modules at this time. right?
Yeah, there's a ton of modules, so there's all kinds of, yeah.
Is Dave, one of them be advanced and show the other form validation at the bottom? Should we do that?
Oh, what's that?
There's a section for, maybe it's under the main tab.
Oh, there's conditions here.
There's a form validation stuff.
General.
Oh, I think it's under, yeah, it's under general. There's form validation.
There you go.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's the regex you're talking about, the pattern?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm.
yeah.
Oh,
You
that's
can
good.
ensure unique submissions, so if you want to make sure no one submits the same username twice or something like that, or the same email twice.
Yeah, the unique, you can set it by user.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're-
Or just, globally for those intersection.
Yeah.
Yeah, that pattern is like an input mask, is it?
I think it uses the HTML5.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, I think it puts the regex on the form. I don't know if it does server side. I would imagine it does. Yeah, it does.
Put regex on the form.
Well, no.
No, no, no,
the one that-
documentation.
The AI bots are understand.
Yeah.
But the pattern you need required is inside there or else. Pretty powerful. Just, yeah, the thing with Webform, especially the conditional stuff, it's like if anybody uses Drupal says like conditional fields. I think even they might even exist for time. It does. It's similar to that, except it doesn't break things as much as conditional fields do. Not throwing like 50 fields at your users to fill in the form and just showing them the pieces that they need is a huge win, especially if you're building forms for like government clients who love collecting just like big giant bricks of stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
I had a really nasty bug last week where somebody had changed the twig template and they had overwritten the name of input button or of an input field, and so I could no longer submit correctly. I couldn't submit any web forms, so I had to I switched the theme to like a different theme, and then I could submit. Then I started, okay, so I'm going to remove all the twig files, and then that didn't work, but if I removed the twig files and disabled all the theme hooks, then it worked, and then I isolated it and found one theme hook and one twig, and there was like 2 lines of code I had to draw. Took a couple hours.
Yeah. Okay.
I had a question.
Oh, yes.
I have 2 questions. So my first question is, what are the options for the action items?
Oh.
So there's submit buttons.
Yeah, they're below here. You can see the submit button.
Oh, you're customized for this. Yeah.
So you can.
So is there only a submit button? Can there be a clear button, a remove button, other actions?
There's a delete button that you can use, and an update button.
You get more submit buttons, and there's a draft button if you enable drafting of submissions. But that's in the form settings.
Or if you broken your form up, because it can do like a wizard style where you
Yeah,
run
mix
through multiple
steps.
pages.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
next and
exactly.
previous, yeah.
Different steps, yeah.
Maybe under the add element or something. Or add page.
Yeah, there's
Add page.
a different type of wizard type you can choose. There's a lot of different options in the forms, in the settings, configuration of the form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, another one for validation that comes up a lot is, especially if you're dealing with multilingual sites where you need to give like proper, like accessible like error messaging for form validation errors. And you can't rely on the browser's form validation messages because you can't change the language because it's tied to the OS language. So there's a setting in Webform where you can tell it to just like, don't do any of the HTML5 validation, let it do a full site into the server and then kick you back so you get your inline form errors.
Yes.
You used to have to form alter to turn that off, to just tell it like don't form valid. Now there's just an option to turn it off.
That's a good.
Yeah, inline form errors, that's a core module. Right? I think inline form errors.
So it's like one
Yeah,
we see.
it's part
It's like a core or.
You've not added it before.
Inline form,
Yeah.
it seems like core.
Yeah.
We enable it, yeah.
Yeah, inline form errors and then full is for myself.
But it's true, so I'll just put it in the form here.
Yes.
Yeah, and you've done a lot with it, because it's what makes your web form successful.
Yes.
It's probably on by default.
That's true, it is.
Yeah. Okay. That's probably why I'm changing.
Like when you brand new site or what's it called, you do it.
What the hell? Yeah, exactly. It's like,
Okay. So so on top of all of these features here, you can also do the programming aspect of it. where you can extend the capabilities of the validation if you need to. So I'll just show you here. Go back to the interface. Okay. Oh, no. Here it is. Okay, so I'll just show the code. So what I did here to show the capabilities, basically I made a module under custom called the simple web form extended validation. So this here module is a very simple module. It has the info file to give you information about the module, and also has the module file where you can put all your hooks. One of the hooks that I used was the hook form for a base form ID alter. So basically what it means is when you write the function, you have to replace base form ID with the ID, the machine name of the form. So in this case, it's
This is a web form module hook, right?
yes. That's
Yeah.
right. So here, my name decided to be web form submission and mastering validation. Give it a nice long machine name. And in here, you can actually, it's been given all of the information of the form. So you have like the form here that you can alter the information from, and here the form state. So whatever information you need, you have access to all of it within the function. And here and in order to make the code a little bit better to maintain, here I'm referencing a class that I wrote in the module. So if you go to under you made a source folder and under validate, I put this class here, and this the module will be calling a function on that class. So in this case, this is find username. So basically, that's intended to find an existing username to see if it's already taken, just for the sake of the example. So basically, you can access any part of Drupal from here. And in this case, I decided to take from the to load the user that if it already existed, it'll give me a search result. So basically, the return value is either true or false based on whether or not it's valid. So if I go back here, the idea is that when I come, that's not the same. The idea is that you get the right search result, or the right validation result for that particular field. So, which is why I use the validate here for the form. And I can do the same thing with the elements inside the form by using another hook called the hook web form element alter. And here you have to, it calls itself once per field in that form when it's validating. So then all you have to do is check for that particular field that you're looking for, and then use the element validate field for it to refer to the same class with the function. So you can do in two different ways in that case. So
Okay, form validate and the element validate.
yeah. So the idea is that when the form is rendered, these functions are called, so they alter the form before you see it. So that when you submit the form, it uses all this extra validation that you've added. So obviously you can do like all kinds of things in here, and you can actually put as much code as you want. So you could actually seriously slow down the form if you really needed to. But then of course that's not normally ideal. So basically what this code is doing is seeing if there's a match for that username. In the username field, which is over here. Go back to the form. Oh, here. If I provide a username, since that doesn't exist on the system, it should tell me that it doesn't actually work. Okay. And I do. Right. Oh, wait. Hold on.
I don't like Drupals.
Oh, yes. Let's try that again.
Yeah, I'm showing off something today that broke. I was like, oh man, bugs.
It's okay, Joseph, we believe in you.
Okay, let's try that again.
Oh, this is so cool, but no, it doesn't work.
Oh, okay, it's still working. Okay.
You turn off the leave button.
You've already submitted.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not submitting, you already have a submission, yeah, so it's not.
Yeah, it's not even validating. Okay, well, it was working this morning. I don't know if that counts.
You can set it over form settings.
Oh, for the user?
You, like, for how many submissions you're allowed, is on settings, I believe.
Oh, okay.
It's submissions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's, if you scroll down, there is submission user settings, allow users to
Yeah.
duplicate previous submissions.
There you go, that one. Click
Yeah,
the
but-
just
yeah,
down
check
Oh,
one.
this one here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
That
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
So save that, and you should be able to submit it again.
Yeah, there's a lot of buttons on this module.
That's an understatement.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Nope, that's, okay, that's great. Oh, wait a minute. Oops. No change link on this part. Okay, what's it? Yeah, just the modules. Oh, right. Sorry, colons. That's, yeah, that's better.
It's on.
Okay, well, there's a bug in the gem. But the form alter and form validator are supposed to do things.
Yeah, so they would actually validate. Okay. Yeah. So I guess that, yeah, that's not the same. Here. Yeah, there we go. So basically, yeah, to recap, yeah, validation is always an important tool for consistency of data and security of forms and your website and even other people's computers in this case. And then there's always, and Webforms allows you to take care of validation easily through a UI as of very well. And then Webforms also provides the flexibility that you might need for any form that you would want to create. And with all of those options, you can make a form that is very clear to the user so that they know exactly what they're supposed to give you. And of course, there also the possibility of extending the form if you really needed it. But then, of course, it's been around for so long, there's so many options for the web form module that it'll most likely do everything you need it to do right off the bat. So basically that's the gist of it. So I guess, yeah, at this point, are there any questions? Oh, yeah.
Just to go back to the presentation earlier this morning, the keynote of Area. Is Area integrated with Webforms?
I believe it is, yeah. Sorry. Any other? Oh.
I was wondering about ECA, event condition action, if there's much integration with Webform.
I'm not exactly sure myself.
Here's the ECA Webform module.
Yeah. Nobody here has ever tried that? We're missing the ECA session right now. Yeah, the wrong session. No, but I'm just curious because like ECA can do a lot of things with different contrib modules, right? But I was just wondering if anybody had tried it with Webforms.
I haven't had occasion to yet.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as there's a stock condition plugin or something,
Yeah.
compliance or something, the event for submitting it can be that hard to trigger if it doesn't already exist.
Yeah.
But,
I haven't really gotten into it because you can just make a submit handler. But I mean, but it's cool. You can do graphical
Drupal
manipulation.
11 and 10 missing like the complex protocols you can build out of rules is the thing I'm missing the most from 7.
Yeah, that's where ECA is supposed to take.
Yeah.
But I haven't really. I've just been looking at it. I'm like,
It's neat, but it's I haven't had a need to use it explicitly.
yeah.
Use the condition system, like in events and like event subscribers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's something constantly, but
Yeah.
nothing to read on it.
Oh, yes.
So we are using like the fake dates with the people, date and time, the calendar, like.
Oh, yes.
So, but we heard that, we heard that this one is not accessible, and we tested with the screen reader.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we cannot like navigate inside the calendar, if I can say that.
Okay, I can comment on this.
Yeah, so we
Because-
use the date list, like we split the dates in month, like drop down, year, month, and.
Okay,
yeah.
so I just resolved this like last week for Commission des langues officielles. So if you go to the complaint form on the Commission des langues officielles, right now if you go complaint, Commission langues officielles, plaint, dude, you just plaint, it's in French, Commission des langues officielles. Whatever, yeah, complaint, OCOL, OCOL.
Oh, yes.
OCOL. Yeah, just hit enter. That should. There it is. Yeah, that form right there. Click on that form. The first one.
Have that in your desk.
Okay, so file a complaint. Yeah, you don't have to submit the whole thing. It's just fine. Click on the
Click on
file a complaint. Okay, this is because of the election. So you say yes, election.
Okay.
Okay, now click on that date. Okay, notice how it says May. Oh, that's a weird thing. Okay, that's.
How about the French
Yeah,
one?
so
Okay, so that
Because
I've
we
never
used-
seen that before, but okay, so yeah. And the time of the incident. So I did this too. Click on that.
Yeah.
That's AM and PM. That is English. Now go to French.
Yeah.
Scroll up and click Français. Okay. And click Oui. And then click on the date. Yeah, see that? That's
Yeah.
24-hour time there. That module I published this module like last week. It's called Webform Date Time 24-hour. And if you click on the date time here, May
Yeah.
in French.
Oh, yeah.
So
Dimanche, lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, samedi. So it's all French. So what this is, if you use HTML5 date picker, it takes the stupid browser's language, and so you have to use the jQuery UI date picker. And then there's a module I put in that it's called, they published it, it's Webform date time 24 hour. And when you configure it, you get two different options. You get the 24 hour with the colon and then the minutes, and you can have one with the H in the minutes. So there's a couple of configuration options, but that's how to localize the date picker. Is you have to use the jQuery UI date picker.
You can capture
You cannot
that.
use HTML5.
You can capture that?
You can
Yeah.
navigate with
Yeah.
keyboard?
Yeah, it's got keyboard navigation. It
If
should
we're,
be.
if we're plugging modules, if you want to look up the Duet date picker, that's the one that we're working on. It doesn't use the jQuery stuff at all.
Okay,
It just
so there's another one?
Yeah, it uses
Okay.
Duet. It doesn't support Webform yet, but it supports all the other date fields in Drupal.
Okay.
So like normal date field, use date filters, whatever.
Okay, yeah.
If you look up, if you go up to the word Duet date picker, it's also all keyboard accessible. So, yeah. We just haven't figured out how to get it to integrate with Webform yet. This Webform is like component writing stuff is like weird.
That's one.
Yeah, so that's an HTML5 date
Yeah.
picker. And that takes the browser's language, not the language of the page. So you don't have control over it. Drupal doesn't control the language of the date picker, it's the browser. So it's done. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Here.
Yeah.
no problem.
That's what it was,
So any other questions?
Webform underscore date time underscore 24H. 24H.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.